So today we're looking at how to create multiple Word documents based on a CSV, which you've seen me do already. However, this time we're going to insert graphs into the Word documents, and the graphs are going to be dynamically created from data in the CSV file. So you're probably thinking, you're probably looking more around it, like, why has he got a mug with a tractor on it? What's in his book? Notes, there you go. Look at the screen, look at the screen. Run Python, read the CSV, create the graphs. That's one file, which is going to be called pydoc_graph. And then that one, which puts the images into doc files, is at the moment called pydoc_image, which should really be called pydoc_docx, but that's a small detail, trust me. The CSV, my example one's got 4 lines. It could have 104, but we'd end up with 104 graphs, and testing would take quite a long time. So if you're interested, then I think this will be a nice video for you to watch. I'll put all the code on GitHub. I've tried to document this for my own purposes, and so that also so that the person who commented may want to actually use this code. Obviously not everybody does Python the whole time, so if you just want to pick this up and try and have a go, then yeah, I'd like other people to be able to just use it without too much fuss or stress. So CSV file, ignore the header, so 4 lines, create 4 graphs, 100 lines, create 100 graphs. That's what we get. So if you keep watching, you'll see this. We get some PNG files, which then get inserted into the doc files, and then we end up with some nice doc files with graphs in. So if that's of interest, and hopefully it is, please don't go. I'm going to hand you over to the computer screen. So in the time honored tradition, drops the headphones and walks away like a boss. Don't forget to subscribe or something. Hello. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. What we've got today is some more code. Well, what we're doing is we're creating DocX files dynamically based on values from a CSV file, and those values are then used to create graphs, which are then converted into images, which are then inserted into the DocX files. So what you get at the end of it is potentially a folder with 300 DocX files with 300 unique graphs in them. Why would you want to do this? Who knows? I don't know. Say you're a school and you've got 300 students and you want to put in 300 graphs of their results for English, maths and French, science, whatever. Yeah, so the whole emphasis of this is creating the graphs and the DocX files dynamically. So if you're interested in automating stuff, then this might be of interest to you. And it's all done with the magic of Python and your brain, or my brain, somebody's brain. Right, run Python, that's a given. Read CSV, let's look at the CSV. I've made a very basic one just to keep it simple, because I am simple and because I didn't want to confuse me or anybody else. We've got 5 columns, A to E, which will represent the 5 bars. So we're going to have 5 values which are going to be represented in the X direction, vertical axis, with Y 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's rows F to J. You can customize this as much as you want. The only thing you need to do really is to make each row represent a unique graph and therefore a unique Word document, if that's how you would like it. Right, so next we have made the graph based on the data in the CSV. How did we do this? Well, I used matplotlib, and we'll go and have a look at that after this little introduction. So graph 2, why is it called graph 2? Because it got the number 2 from it knew it was number 2 because it was made from row 2. I captured that. It's saved in the local directory, so wherever you run your code, you will get the images, which is a little bit messy, but that can be rectified, and I can ask the user if they want to create a directory, what would they want to call it, does the directory exist, so on and so on. Right, so we've got the graph. The graph is saved as a PNG file, so it's an image, and as you can just about read below the shot of the graph on the background, it says put the PNG file into /images. So put it into the images folder. I've got 4 graphs here as 4 PNG files because I had 4 rows. Well, I had 5 rows in this CSV file, but the first one was a header, so we always ignore the header, and there we go. 4 files, which we then move into the images folder, and then they are ready to process with pydoc_image file, which is a second Python file, which will then produce 4 Word documents. Those 4 Word documents are produced via a template. So you need a template, which I will describe in more detail in a bit. The template is just a standard Word document, and it's, if you want text, then you use pairs of curly braces with the field with the column name from the Excel file. And here we were just dealing with images. In another one of my videos, you can see where I import text and where I import strings and integers from a CSV file, and I place them in multiple Word documents. Today this is mainly images we're dealing with, so 4 Word documents, and there we go. I've just opened up 2 of them, and I've opened up document 4 and can't read the other one. Is that document 3? Yeah. So we've got different graphs, and each Word document has its own graph. So as I say, for instance, if it was a school report, you could have child 1 and a graph of their progress, and child 2, graph of their progress. And yeah, if you had 300 pupils, you could have 300 Word documents with 300 unique graphs. And I think that's quite fantastic, really. It's automating something which would be very tedious, and potentially somebody would spend, I don't know. Hello, so yeah, thanks for continuing to view. Hopefully this is interesting to you, either because you would like to use it or because you are interested in how it was written, and yeah, you're either treating it as a potential user or a potential coder who is going to draw inspiration from it, shall we say. Okay, so matplotlib, CSV, JSON, input warnings. I've not used that before. I think it's a bit of a... it's not really recommended, but I had to use it because I didn't really want to go into the depths of matplotlib and so on. So I was getting a matplotlib error, which just didn't look very nice on the screen. Everything works fine. Style use.
ggp plot. That is what tells it to make a bar graph. Class, matgraph, that's my class name obviously. Read a CSV file and generate one graph per row. I'm just initializing an empty list and row number 2. We want to skip the header. Make graphs is first function. That's the only. It is the one and only actual method. It opens a CSV file. I've hard coded that GSD graph source data .csv. Read it as file. CSV reader. Yeah. Next reader. That actually skips the first row. Quite a useful command that I found that on Stack Overflow. For row in reader, we're starting to loop through the CSV file here. We set self values equal to the row, so now we are on row 2. Self values equals has the contents of row 2. So input x, we read the first 5 values into a variable called input x. From the next 5, which are the y values, we read into a variable called input underscore y. Those values are in the CSV, or were in the CSV as string values, which is bad. You get a very odd graph if you use what appear to be integers but are actually strings. Use this. Actually, this is there's a list comprehension you can do which is even neater than this. I've left this in because this is how I first got it working, but you can do int brackets x for x in string, that type of thing. X and y, so they're now converted into integers. We print them to the screen. We tell the user we're making a graph and the number of it. We create a figure and the axes and their subplots, and we are matplotlib it here now. Set the title, plot the bar, x values first, y values second. Plot plt.savefig. This saves the graph as a PNG rather than plt.show, which would show it to the screen. We don't really care about showing it to the screen. Once we've written the code and we've tested it and it works fine, we'll just create the images. If a user doesn't like them, they can go through and look at them and then go back and modify the CSV. Plot close. Yeah, you need to close it, otherwise you get you can end up with issues with data from previous graph appearing on the next plot, and yeah, plt.clf close file, I think that stands for, and then we increment the row number by 1 because then we want to use that for the name of the next graph. Then the usual name equals main, auto. I'm instantiating my matgraph class. The object's called autograph, and it runs the make graphs method, which makes in this test that you've seen, it made 4 graphs. Some instructions there for the user. So if you're happy and you would like to see this run, let's just quit out of this and let's run it. And there we have it. Why did that not... I've run the wrong one. I was wondering why it didn't display any output to the screen and just about to start troubleshooting. Yeah, so we've got two files here at the moment. I may actually combine them or make a, I don't know, but this is still, it's work in progress. So we've got the graph maker and then we've got the image maker, which actually takes images and puts them into the Word doc. So yeah, graph first. And you can see it's read the CSV. Self.rownum. Why is that? That's an error, isn't it? Let's just go and fix that. It's still showing self.rownum. Self. The F string. Why is that F string? What did it do? It showed making graph number. Yeah. Making graph number. There isn't an F. Put an F in and happy days. Let's go. Yeah, making graph number 2, 3, 4, 5, that's better. Graphs made, check current working directory for your PNG files, make multiple doc files next, put PNG files in images, then run multi-doc.py. So what's the time? 10 o'clock exactly. And if we look here, Wednesday 10, we've got our 4 files, 4 graphs. Graph 2, graph 3, graph 4, graph 5. Perfect. So let's whack those into templates, images. Delete those, they're the old ones. Paste these ones in, made at 10 a.m. And let's run pydoc_image. This is the one that gets the images, puts them into the doc file template and then replicates. Let's go. I haven't put any message to the user there. That's quite naughty, isn't it? I'll fix that. And then we need to go to the output folder and 10:01, so no sleight of hand going on here, boys and girls. And yeah, the graph is very small, isn't it? I think so what I need to do there is, it's not because the PNG file is small, it's because the size of the image in the template. So do you want me to run that again while you're here? Why not? Let's it's not all about the gags and the pictures of cats, is it? Let's make that nice and large. If you haven't yet looked at my website, red and green, it's hopefully it will evolve into a very useful website with an emphasis on Python, automation, and there will also be web scraping. I just need to finish these little automation projects and I will resume with my upward trajectory in the world of web scraping. Anyway, you're not interested about that. You want me to run this again, so here we go. pydoc_image py, run again. And I've lost the folder, why is that? output 10:03. Time is now 10:03. Let's there we go. That looks slightly tall and thin. I think I've probably just not constrained the proportions, but you get the idea. You can go in and adjust the template slightly. I don't know if that actually is tall and thin, is it? Possibly. Anyway, what you've summarised, you've seen. Let me just show you the code for pydoc.image. So it's the second of the two files which do this work. This is based on, what is he called? Eric, I forget his name. My French is not good. Eric Lapuyade, and his DocX TPL is a Python module which allows you to generate multiple DocX files based on a template. A list comprehension there which just goes through and finds all of the files in the images directory, and that they're then put into the variable files, which is then used for this loop here, which for each file in the files we strip off the file extension. No, we don't. Yes, we do. We strip off the PNG file extension. So we split, we remove anything after the full stop, and then we replace it with DocX. And then context is particular to this module. The old image is fruit logo. The old image is just effectively it's a placeholder. So unless you get an error, you will never actually have a new document with that logo in. That's just the logo which gets replaced. The new image, and then it gets images and then file name, and the file name is, well, that is file. So we then end up with replace the old picture with the new picture, render the context, which is all of this bit, and then we save it to the destination file. That's all there is to say about this little bit. If we exit out of there, just to round up, the code will shortly be appearing, if it's not already there, on GitHub. It will be appearing in, let me just show you, it will be appearing under here. So rggh/pydoc. I'll put a demo CSV file in there. I may even put a demo template file in there as well, so you can start off from what you've seen on my video and obviously modify it until your heart's content. Yes, a little note at the bottom. If you go to my GitHub page, you will see that link, and you can do pip install for the DocX template, but if you go here, you will arrive at Eric's GitHub page, and he's done loads of tests. So as well as replacing the picture, you can see other features of his code, which you can then insert rich text, cells, header, footer. Yeah, you can read that just as well as I can. So I will stop talking now, and I will wish you all good day. And please subscribe if you like this, if you're interested in it. If you think it's rubbish, then just say so also. I'm guessing if you think it's rubbish, you probably won't have watched this far anyway, so I'm probably got quite a friendly audience by now if you're still watching. So yeah, thanks for watching. Well, what sunny day here, so go and enjoy the nice weather, and I'll speak to you very soon.